Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy Hodges. Thanks so much for being here. I wanted to do a quick video today while I am in the airport actually flying back from my destination in Atlanta because this is the perfect opportunity to talk about something I've been wanting to talk about on this channel. So I'm certified peer support specialist working with people all over the world with OCD. I also do referral consultations. NoCD and OCD is an app. Inside the app, you can find resources and connect with other people who have OCD. They also provide telehealth for ERP, so you can find them at treatmyocd.com. So today I wanted to talk about avoidance. Avoidance is a compulsion, and avoidance is a compulsion that so many of us engage in, and we have no idea we're even engaging in it. And I wanted to talk about why, what it looks like, and the amount of shame that that can create. Avoidance is a compulsion that basically is us doing everything that we can to avoid fear. Whether that be avoiding TV shows, whether that be avoiding people, avoiding going outside of our house, anything that has to do with our theme, we become really afraid of dealing or facing whatever it is that is going to bring on those intrusive thoughts, those intrusive feelings, those intrusive images. And sometimes even if I face something and it triggers me, then that's going to set me up to be in my OCD symptoms later. So of course we would avoid that. And sometimes that means avoiding new experiences. But what does that do? It makes our life really small. And there's a reason why I wanted to do this video while I was at the airport. And I'll share that story here with you in a minute. Now, just for the logistics and around why we choose avoidance a lot of times when it comes to intrusive thoughts, mental rituals, which is avoidance as well, which is kind of a physical ritual actually. But the reason why is because the part of the brain that these fears are coming from is telling us that when we are doing compulsions, we're sharing with that part of the brain that we are in danger. So that part of the brain is kind of like the sixth sense. You know what I mean? It is like looking for things that are gonna put us in danger. And so when we do compulsions, we're telling that part of the brain, we're in trouble, there's a reason why we're avoiding this, there's a reason why there's a reason why I'm worried about this, and so that part of the brain starts to warn us about everything. This is the reason why if you have POCD, for instance, pedophilia themed OCD, you never noticed a damn kid before, and now all of a sudden you see kids everywhere. Why? Because you're doing compulsions because you had an intrusive thought that scared you about kids, and now that part of the brain is going, oh no, you're telling me through the compulsions we have reason to be scared, so now I'm going to show you every single kid within a 10-mile radius, and all of a sudden you're seeing them everywhere, and you're seeing everything, you're seeing playgrounds, you're seeing all of this. So what you do is then you start to avoid those things because you're so scared you're going to get triggered. Avoidance is straight fear. It is, I am scared to go near what it is that's triggering me because I'm scared of what I'm going to find out. I'm scared of having these feelings. I'm scared of having these images. I'm scared that if I do this, then later on I'm going to have to suffer for it. And so that's why we do it. The shame piece, this is what I'm going to share with you. The shame piece of avoidance is all of a sudden we stop living life. All of a sudden, we're telling the people that we love, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not gonna watch this, I'm not gonna watch that, I'm avoiding this, I'm avoiding that. You start controlling the things that you're doing. Like for me, and this has been brought up to me recently, but I have a emetophobia, the fear of vomiting. So my avoidance is I'm going to avoid restaurants that are gonna make me feel scared of throwing up. Therefore, my world gets smaller because I'm not out exploring. Other people can't necessarily, get to be free around me because I may have like rituals or compulsions or things like that around where I can go to eat. It's ironic because right now I am eating at a restaurant in the airport, which is scary for me, but I couldn't avoid it. I had to eat it before I went home. So you start avoiding things and you start avoiding life, and a lot of times that causes shame and it causes confusion for other people, and then it can also make you look self-absorbed. It can make you look like everything is about you, when in reality it's all fear-based. And that's what I really want you to hear when you're listening to this video about avoidance. Avoidance has everything to do with being afraid. And it's so hard to communicate that to people. We want people to think that everything is okay. We don't want people to know a lot of times what are the things that we're worried about and the obsessions and intrusive thoughts we have, so we avoid. And then if they're impacted, then they're shamed. So then we're trying to avoid even talking to them about this stuff. So it's like layer upon layer of shame. So one of the things I wanted to share with you, why I think it is so important that I talked about avoidance right now while I'm at the airport, is I had a huge fear of traveling. I have always had a fear of traveling. I don't know why. This has really come up for me. And a lot of it, I think, is like the loss of control and whether or not I'm going to die. I've been doing a lot of international travel, as many of you know if you're following my videos. So my big fears were crashing and dying as I'm going over the Atlantic Ocean, right? And what was happening is that when I would go on these trips, I would get there, and then it's almost like I would avoid being present, because all I would think about was how many days until I get home, how many days until this event is over, how many days until X, Y, and Z. And I wasn't enjoying life. I wasn't experiencing anything because I was trying to avoid because of fear. I used some skills that were, it's not necessarily reassurance, but more of like, I want to live my life. I cannot avoid doing these wonderful things I'm able to do for OCD, like going across the country or to different countries and running events. And so I started to think to myself, okay, I can safely assume flights are going to make it from one continent to the other, from one country to the other. I can safely assume that. And I can safely assume if they don't, if something happens, I will deal with it when it happens. But I cannot keep avoiding A, going places, and B, when I get to these places, staying in my hotel because I'm scared. Because that's all it was. When I was and this is what I wanted to share with you. When I was in Spain recently, and Spain was hard because I don't speak fluent Spanish. I speak that much Spanish, this much. And there were so many things I was so scared of, like putting gas in the car, petrol, that's what they call it, petrol in the car. I was scared of driving in Spain. I was scared of all of these things. And the truth is, it's just because, for me, I was scared that I was going to look stupid. I was scared I was going to make a big mistake, that I was going to look like a moron. And instead, what I realized is I'm going to do these things anyway, which is what we want to do when we're dealing with OCD. I'm going to do these things anyway. And sometimes really all it takes is doing something one time to see that you're okay doing it. So what have you been avoiding? Going to the grocery store, getting out of the house, seeing that friend, going to a movie, going to a restaurant, like I just said earlier. Sometimes all it takes is I'm going to find the courage. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to do it anyway. If something bad happens, and this is what I had to do in Spain. If I look like a moron, if I get yelled at, I did. People, like, I didn't know you're supposed to weigh your vegetables. I didn't weigh the vegetables. And the lady at the cashier, like, had to go weigh them for me, and I held up like 10 people, and I couldn't even say I'm sorry, because I know you say lo siento, but I didn't even know what to do, and everybody was giving me dirty looks. But you know what? I did it, and I learned that now when I go to the grocery store in Spain, I weigh vegetables. And it was okay, even though it was terrifying. I learned that you pay for gas inside when you're getting petrol in Spain. And it was scary to learn it the first time. It was scary to learn that there's kilometers instead of miles. There's all of the stuff. Sometimes, the goal of recovery in OCD is, as OCD, make sure your world really, really small, because that's what it does. It systematically cuts things off because of fear. Your job, my job, is to push back out and make life a lot bigger, because avoidance takes that away from you. I would encourage you, as we're moving into this new year, what are some little small things that you've been avoiding? Take some time, maybe even each day, maybe even each week, and push back out and challenge that avoidance and start to get your life back. OCD shuts that down, push back in, and get it back. I'm headed to get on a plane here soon. I just wanted to do that video really quick and tell you Happy New Year. I will be here with you this whole year doing more videos that help you to feel less alone. I appreciate you so much, and I am so glad that we are a part of this community together. Happy New Year, and I will see you soon when I'm back in Colorado.